Hi, we're going to be working on the left hand on your cello. One of the hardest things to get down is the power and strength that the fourth finger requires in order to press the note down. We have some exercises, but initially we're just going to get started with trying to find the location of the fourth finger. And this will set up your hand position from today through the rest of your life, essentially. This fourth finger location on the cello is the same note name as the open string below it. So when I play an open G and I put my fourth finger on the D string, one string higher, that's also a G. When I put my fourth finger on the A string, it's also the same note name, a D, as the open D below it. So D, D, and you can do this all by ear. It saves you a lot of time and helps practice your ear from looking at your hand to make sure it's in the right spot. I never look at my hand, and barely a professional cellist looks at their hand, so try not to. You can check all of these locations with your hand and try to get it down where you're going back and forth between each of these. Go ahead and practice it with me. D, fourth finger D on the A string. Lift the wrist, take your whole hand over to the D string, open G, fourth finger G. Open C, fourth finger C on the G string. If it doesn't sound like this one, doesn't sound like the same note, move your hand around to find it. G, fourth finger G now. Open D, fourth finger D. Great, now that you've got that, we're going to do something very fundamental called the 4 open 1 hold. First, find your fourth finger. We'll use the G on the D string, so open G, fourth finger on the D string. Now, the 4 open 1 hold means we're going to keep our fourth finger down when we play the open string above it, an A, and the first finger comes down to the A string to play a B, and come back to the open A, and then pull the note back towards you with a fourth finger. 4, hold it down, open, 1. If you notice, my second, third, and fourth finger are just riding on the D string. I call it floating. They're just floating on the D string. This is great practice for your left hand to get the order and shape it needs because we do not have frets. G, fourth finger, hold A, B, A, G, A. And really, if you're having trouble with this, attempt to play without using your thumb, pulling the notes towards you. That will help keep your hand open and your first finger back far enough to play that note in tune. Great, let's try the same thing one string down. So we're going to start on the G string on a C. Open C, fourth finger C. 4, open D, first finger E, open D. Back to 4, C. If you need to put your thumb somewhere, right on the side of the instrument's a good spot when you're starting as a beginner. Or even to train you from using your thumb less. Pull the cello towards you. 4, open. C, D, and we won't do the C string because you're a beginner, so we'll try to remain on these 2 strings. Let's do that G one more time. Open G, fourth finger on the D string. What's the name of that note? G. G, A, B. G, float the hand, pull the hand, float the hand. Go ahead and pause this video if you want to practice some more on that. Next will be pinky push-ups. Pinky push-ups. So our fourth fingers, when we start playing the cello, are never strong enough typically. So we need to work it out and get this fourth finger a little bit stronger so that it can pull this note down to make enough contact to where it rings, okay? And I'm doing this without my thumb, so I'm just pulling against my body here with the neck of the cello. It's good practice to get into. For pinky push-ups, what we're going to be doing is having the hand on the D string. 2, 3, and 4 will be on the D string, and our first finger, if it'd be great if you put that on the A string, and just let it all rest there for a second. Just make sure it's in the right form and in the right order. Check your position like we did on the fourth finger before. Open G, fourth finger G. And now, with holding pressure down, especially with the second, third, and fourth finger, pulling it towards you, we're going to lift just our pinky, and we're going to bring it down as energetically and powerfully as we can. I also call these pinky punches because they are kind of push-ups, but they're really more punches. I think I should change that. Pinky punches. Do it nice and slow, and what we're aiming for is this knocking that happens right to the D string, right on the D string. Sometimes when you bring it down, it might fall on another string. And it's really good to bring us, especially when you're starting the cello, to put yourself in a goal of doing about 10 of these, and then we're going to go to our first finger slammers. First finger slammers, floating the rest of the hand on the D string. That's our second, third, and fourth finger. Remember, our first finger is on the A string. These fingers are still just floating. They're touching the string, but they're not pulling down. The first finger is going to come down with a powerful slam, just like the pinky did. And you should eventually be able to hear it. And that's called a hammer-on, that they use in guitar technique a lot. But here on the cello, it's good to get the hand in a good shape. Keep these fingers on the D strings. Notice how they're not moving. This is going to get your hand strong. Let's go back to the pinky push-ups. Let's do 10 on each side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. First finger to the A string. We're going to do 10 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Back to the fourth finger, pinky. We're going to do 3 rounds of these. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. First finger to the A string. Float the rest of the hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. D string, pinky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great job. That's your left hand introduction. Shake it out if you need to. You might be a little tired, but that stuff is going to get your hand stronger. The last thing I'll say to do is go back to the shape of the pinky push-ups and first finger slammers and just try to bounce that weight, that arm pulling power to the string. So you got to get used to it. In general, every cellist, when they start playing, they all think about the hand and everything's all locked up here. They get a hand shape that looks like this instead of an open hand shape that looks like this. Move most of your energy to your arm, your bigger muscle groups. Pull towards you. All right, that's it. Enjoy practicing.